Hello, and welcome back to the basement renovations. My name is Casey, and when I last left you guys, I was working on building these two walls behind me. And when I last left you, I was working on hanging drywall in the basement. And when I last left you guys, I was working on drywall finishing. Since I last saw you, I have been working on putting up the rest of the drywall on the ceiling. Hello, welcome back to the basement renovation. I am back after a week-long break that I so desperately needed. I was exhausted, shoulders, and burned out. God, I'm so tired. I have no upper body strength left. And taking some time off was exactly what I needed to get my enthusiasm renewed for this basement project. This project has been going for a long time, and I'm so ready to get to the pretty parts, the parts where we start doing some decor and interior design, building cabinetry. That I'm very excited for, and that is just around the corner. We have a few more things to do in here before I can get to those projects. But I so enjoyed my time off, got to spend some time with family, got to eat some really good food, and now I'm ready to get back to work. So today we are getting a shipment of trim. I'm not sure what time it's going to be here, but once I get that trim, I'll be able to really start moving on finishing the ceilings in here. We also have a window installer coming tomorrow to replace 3 windows in our basement. There's one here in this space that I've been working on, and then 2 on the other side of the basement in that kind of junky area where I've been storing a lot of stuff temporarily. So I need to go over there and clean that space to kind of make some room for them to get in there and work. And I think it'll just be a good idea for me to kind of reorganize some things over there because we've been doing a lot of work back and forth. Things have just kind of gotten thrown. It needs some TLC. All right, let's see. I don't even know where to start. Okay. Okay, tripping over stuff. I'm getting really motivated to work on this side of the basement. I don't know when we're gonna get to this. It'll be a couple months at least, but this has been a really vulnerable spot for rodents and insects getting in, especially these windows. This is one of the windows that we're getting replaced. And then this whole wall and door situation has been like Swiss cheese. So we've been working really hard to keep that kind of plugged up as best we can. But once we get in here and rip all this out, I'm sure we're gonna find a lot of stuff in here, but it'll be good to get this side cleaned out. Once we get this side of the basement kind of cleaned out and renovated, this basement's gonna be so secure. It's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait. But in the meantime, it's very dirty over here. Feels pretty good to be back to work though, I have to say. I'm glad. I did miss it. We have a lot of drywall scraps. Like we have these, but we have a whole bunch in this other room that were kind of offcuts from the big pieces I used for the ceiling. And those, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I'm gonna hang on to them until we're done doing all of the basement renovations. Because sometimes those small, especially pieces like this, come in handy around like small corners around doors and stuff. So we might end up using them, but anyway. This mattress, man. Oh, I think I'm gonna get this little room over here done because then, or actually the room upstairs, my sewing room, we're gonna turn that into another guest room. And then this mattress will have a home. Right now it's just in the way. It's actually good just to get all this cleaned up. It's starting to bug me. Also finding stuff. I've been looking for these nails. I'm gonna need these for the trim. And screws. We're always looking for screws. There's so much stuff. We're still waiting on the trim to come. It's almost, what time is it? So it's about 2 o'clock. The trim has not been delivered yet. And I was kind of waiting on the trim to come so I could start on this side, but I can actually start on the other side because the ceiling this direction on this side is shorter than that side, and so I can use the trim pieces that I already have. So I have some 12-foot pieces that are left over from when we did the trim upstairs, like the baseboard trim, and they were just too short to do the kind of long pieces that I wanted to do first on that side. So anyway, I can go ahead and do them on this side because I want to put the pieces up that are going to be parallel to the joist first, just to make sure that I hit all of the blocking that I put in. And in some cases I will hit a joist, but I think I'm gonna do this side first since I kind of just want to get moving on this. Now I don't really want to do this, but it is so cold and windy outside and we're supposed to be getting snow this afternoon. So I'm gonna do the cuts in here. I'm gonna try it and see if I can stand it. Yeah, I probably need to clean out my sawdust bag. That might help a little bit with dust control. I have a shop vac, I could hook it up to this. I don't know if I really want to fool with it. I'm just kind of resigned to the fact that I'm going to have to cut in here and then clean up sawdust afterward. So that's what we're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. All right, I think I am going to try the shop vac with this and just turn it on every time I have a cut. And I vacuumed this out really good, so we will see how that works. So I got this little like laser measure thing so that I can more easily measure, not have to pull the tape measure so far. Although on this side, it's not going to be as effective because I do have this gap here where I'm eventually going to have the shelving and the built-ins that I'm going to be doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to measure the gap that I have in the drywall here. And then when I do the measurement with this, I'll just subtract that to get my measurement for my length that I need. So this is 16 inches. So I'm trying to think. I think I want my top shelves to be 12 inches deep, and then I'm gonna have a 3/4 inch face frame, so that'll be 12 3/4. 12 3/4 plus, let me do some math, 5.5 for my trim depth. So 18.25 inches is what I need from the wall. It's also 9'6" minus 18 1/4. Okay, I'll lock that in. Okay, 9'6" minus 18 1/4. This thing's kind of neat because you can kind of like change what it rounds to, which is kind of cool. I'm actually going to be rounding down a little bit. This thing only rounds up. But I'm going to be rounding down a little bit just to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. I will, even if I have like tiny gaps on either end, I can fill that with caulk once I do all the finishing. But I just don't want it to be too tight. 9'6" minus 18 1/4 is 95 3/4 inches. 95 3/4. Violent. A little bit of dust, but not too bad. It wasn't too bad. So I actually just thought about something. I probably need to go ahead and put a straight piece of trim across the edge where I want that cabinet to be, because if I'm measuring these individually and not having something to butt them up against, it's possible that the measurements could get a little bit wonky. So I probably need to create that kind of stopping point first. And how do I want to do that? Because I got to make some decisions here. Okay, I just went and consulted my SketchUp model. I've been building all of this in SketchUp, making like a 3D model so I can kind of get the measurements and the layout of everything the way that I want it. And it's just a constantly evolving model that I've been building for this space. But my built-ins over here are going to be 130 inches wide. And then I'm going to have a closet that kind of comes out here that is going to kind of conceal some of this plumbing and stuff that we still need access to. But that's basically going to stop about right here. But I know, because I've kind of come back and taken more accurate measurements down here, that I want this side of it to be 130 inches. Yeah, so it should end up lining up about right here with this little jog in the drywall. So I just want to go ahead and measure out 18 1/4 from the wall. I don't like this tape measure. This is one of those locking tape measures, but the way you hold it, I always end up retracting it. It's very annoying. So this piece is still good. I'm just gonna put it over here to the side for now. Cut another piece. Now this one needs to be 130 inches. I actually need to move these over to the other side. I swear all I do is move stuff back and forth constantly. Because I'm gonna try to use my drywall lift to help me hold these in place. I think that will work. All right, let's do a little test fit. I think that's gonna work real well. These are a little dusty because they've been sitting for a while. I'm just gonna dust them off so that the glue will stick. Ooh. Looks good, looks good. So now I'm just gonna remeasure from the soffit to the edge of that board. Check my measurement that I took earlier. I've got 8 foot. That should do it. All right, I also want to mark my studs. Got one here. Okay. I could probably go a little tighter. I can fill that with caulk, but it'd be better if I didn't have that big of a gap to fill. Same thing for at the top there. And then there'll be trim covering here and trim covering here. A nice tight fit. I'm also kind of angling my nails when I put them in, just to give it a little bit more stability. Yeah, actually 47 3/4. Yeah, 47 3/4. Let me remark this one. 47 3/4. Okay, I might call you back down in a minute. I'm not sure. Thank you. So that's all the long pieces I have right now until we get our trim delivery. But now I can start doing the short pieces in between. And I only have a little bit of scrap left. This is actually a smaller trim for the windows. So I have a little bit of this left. I'm gonna try to do a couple pieces like this just to get as much done as I can before the other trim shipment gets here. I can probably hold those pieces up without the lift. So I can move that out of my way. We got 35 3/8. Let's see what the laser gets. 2 foot, 11 1/2. That's pretty close. Okay, 35 3/8. Also, these primed pieces have like a good side and a bad side. So the good side has kind of like a brush stroke parallel to the grain. And then the bad side usually has like little kind of marred up places Like you can see maybe right there. It's kind of, so anyway, I'm just being mindful of which side's the good side and which one's the bad side. Let me glue this. Okay. As tight as I can. I have to kind of do some magic on that little corner right there. I can fix it though. Wow, that's like 3 feet exactly. So this is what I've got done so far. It's getting kind of late. I might call it a day, and our Home Depot order is supposed to get here soon, any minute. So I think I'm gonna save my energy because we do have to bring some of that stuff inside. And we got plywood, we got trim. I think that's it, we got plywood and trim. So anyway, this is coming together quickly. Now that I kind of have my flow down, I think it's gonna go pretty fast to get the rest of it up. But yeah, it's really making it look more finished. And once I get everything caulked and painted and everything, I think it's gonna look really good. Over here, I'm gonna have that kind of entertainment center over here, and I'm thinking about painting it kind of a really dark, kind of moody color. I might continue that color onto the ceiling on this side. I haven't decided 100% yet, but that's kind of where my mind is going with that. Okay, yay. New trim yesterday evening, so this is all the rest of the trim that we're going to need for the ceilings. These pieces here are 16-foot pieces, these are 12-foot pieces, so I really needed to get some of these so that I could do kind of the long spans across here, which are just over 12 feet. So that's the plan, but I'm going to finish this side before I move over to this side. So I have this little area here. I have not put any trim on this. I am planning to build a utility closet here, or like a broom closet. And I'll either finish that with just drywall, or I'll put a smaller piece of trim in here once I build that. So I'm gonna leave it for now. What I did with the ceiling was I kind of set up zones. So this zone is kind of in front of a cabinet that's gonna be here. And then this zone kind of sets the grid for the TV entertainment center area that's going to be here. So this is a little bit bigger than these three over here, but I mean, once you're standing under it, it's really not, I mean, you barely notice it. And once I get the built-ins in here too, it'll make even more sense to have it laid out like that. All right, so now I want to start working on this side of the basement. I've got a lot of stuff over here, so I'm going to move all of this over to this side. I'm gonna do a little cleaning up, but I'm gonna move my cutting station over to this side of the basement, kind of tidy up a little bit to kind of open this up, make it easier for me to get all this stuff on the ceiling. But it's going pretty good, it's going fast. Okay, I got this side all cleaned out, and now I'm ready to start laying out the trim on the ceiling. Now, one thing about this room is that this window is not centered on the wall. And it wasn't centered on the wall before we started down here. And if I had thought ahead a little bit more, I would have kind of adjusted the position of the walls that I built to make this window centered, but I didn't do that. So it's about, let's see, 48, it's probably about 3 inches longer on this side of the window. And when I put this trim up here, If I make the trim symmetrical to the ceiling or to the room dimensions, it's gonna really make that asymmetrical position of the window stand out. So I'm gonna kind of fudge it a little bit, and it's just a 3-inch difference. So I don't think it'll be super, super noticeable if I just align it with the window. And I'm also kind of working with where I placed my seams here. I'm just gonna adjust the position of the trim to make the window look a little bit more symmetrical. These 2 bays on either side of the window are not gonna be the same dimensions, but I don't think it's gonna be something that you're gonna notice when you walk into this room. I don't think it's really gonna stand out that much, and I think it's gonna look a lot better to kind of fake the centered window than it will be to make the trim pieces symmetrical on the sides of the room, if that makes sense. So I've done a little bit of math here and figured out where exactly I want to place the trim. And I also have my SketchUp model that I've been using, and I kind of updated the measurements to perfectly match this room and the window location. So I think I'm ready to move forward. But basically, other than that, everything is going to be the same as putting the trim up on the other side of this room. 13'4". You know, you think if the tool belt, I'd keep all my tools in it, but I keep leaving them laying around everywhere. Okay, 13'4". 13 foot. And that little laser measure thing is pretty awesome. I'm very into that tool. Hold that in, well, yeah, hold that end kind of up in the corner while I crank this thing up. I've got to kind of tilt it into place and make sure it's butted all the way up to the wall. You got it? Okay, let me crank this up a little bit more. That socket, I think, gets a little, it's like kind of bottom heavy. So I gotta be strategic. Okay, you holding it? We give it a little tap. All right, let me crank it a little bit. Keep holding it, please, sir. And this drywall lift comes in handy. Well, we could probably come this way like just a hair, actually. That's good. This is the last hard piece to get up. Thank you. Almost fell. Almost fell. Whew, it gets warm down here fast. All right, I got all of these trim pieces up, and I think I'm almost out of adhesive. My battery on my nail gun is dying. So anyway, I got it done just in time. Worked a little bit later than I normally do today because I really wanted to get this done today, but it's already looking so much better in here, just having all the little cracks and stuff covered up. Now next week, I'll go through and fill nail holes and caulk all of the cracks and seams and everything and make it look really nice and pretty before I paint it. It definitely takes the ceiling up a notch for sure to have this done in here. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to call it quits for now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.